everyone. Welcome to Passion Podcast 2.0. This is Sandeep Bose, communication trainer and motivation speaker. Welcome you all once again in another exciting episode of Passion Podcast. This time we're doing episode number 13 with a special guest joining all the way from MP. Her name is Rashmi Modi. So, Rashmi is a very well known image consultant, life skills coach, curriculum designer, corporate trainer, soft skill coach. Also, she's working as an associate professor for management and humanity. So, let's welcome Rashmi Modi on the stage. Hi, Rashmi, how are you?
Hi Sandeep, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. First of all, Rashmi, I would like to thank you for accepting the invitation and taking time out from your busy schedule and joining at Portion Podcast. So,
It's my
uh,
pleasure. I'm glad I can. I'm glad I'm here and talking to you, and I can share my experiences. It's wonderful.
okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, Rashmi, I was just introducing yourself to my audience and I was telling about your designations. So, you have many designations, right? Starting from a content developer, corporate trainer, soft skills coach, life skill coach. But one thing, I think it's a jargon for many people, it was a jargon for me as well, which is image consultant. So, could you please explain what is image consultant means and what type of work you do as an image consultant?
So Sandeep, I agree. Even today, I get a lot of questions on. Okay, Rashmi, what is image consultant? What do they do? We don't understand. Uh, when I say image management as a profession, so image management is a holistic, like a 360-degree viewpoint of a personality, of a person. Okay, the way we understand corporate branding, right? That in a corporate, they need name, they need branding in terms of how do they position themselves in the market. Similarly, image management for a person is like personal branding, wherein how do you position yourself in front of others, okay, such that whatever your roles are, whatever your goals are in future, where do you want to move ahead, your image is aligned with those roles and goals. So
Okay.
that's where image management comes into picture, and an image consultant would help in taking those advancements in the form of even if it's looks, its appearance, its body language, how do you behave, how do you conduct yourself, all right. Also in terms of digital footprint, that has become a very important part because these days anyone I want to talk with, I'll be searching them digitally, right? So even digital footprint has become like a very important part of image management.
So overall grooming you're talking about, right?
Yeah, grooming is one factor of image, right? It has a lot to do with how do you position, like corporate grooming is one thing, but then how do you
So,
position
so you
yourself in
you,
front
you
of
are
others?
saying that digital presence also is a part of image
Of
consultancy.
course, why not? Why not? I
Very
want to know
important.
about you. What do I do? I go and search you over LinkedIn, Facebook, Google, right? Okay, and that's how an impression is made that okay, this person is interested into sports or arts or food or they holiday a lot. So digital footprint makes an impression about you.
So actually, what I liked about you is you are donning multiple hats at the same time. You are an avid reader as well, and you personally suggested me a few books. So we'll talk
Yeah.
about it later down the podcast because I really enjoyed reading those books, and those books were
Yeah.
really amazing. And I would like to talk more about that. But let's start from the beginning. How you started this journey. So, can you talk us about your childhood, your growing up years, where you were living, and what you wanted to become? How was your thought process at that point of time about life? What what is going on at that point of time?
So it was a very average childhood, a childhood that every like kid would live. School and friends and family, and it was the same childhood that a 90s kid would have lived, right? However, one thing that was different was that I was very shy, introvert. So speaking even 10 sentences in a day was too much speaking for me. So from that, moving on to going out to Gurgaon, studying management there,
Mm.
preparing for management, uh, going into the corporate world was a transformational journey for me. So
Right.
I was in Bhopal. Moving from Bhopal to Gurgaon was a transformation wherein uh, that habit of not speaking or not mixing up with people, all right, not speaking my
Right.
mind through, had to change because of circumstances, because of people around, and because of the profession that where you are, right? So the college
Right.
where I was pushed me to speak more. Experiences that I had there, they actually made me more open to speak, open to speak my mind, uh, be it, and then welcoming whatever response would come over. So initially the thought was that, okay, if I say something, probably people will laugh at me, or probably, there'll be something that they would say to me and I'll feel insulted. So I don't want to say anything, just agree to everything that anyone is saying. Moving on from to a city alone, living there alone without parental support, right? Like you're there in the hostel, you have to do everything yourself. That was a transformation. That changed everything for me. Second thing was that I was into investment banking. I wanted to be an investment banker, a core finance person, studied into that. But then again, things took like a different path, and the profession that I choose was training, which was speaking over a lot. But then till them time, that journey, the transformation, because of a lot of people who supported me, like parents had always supported. There were a few mentors, I still thank them, that they supported, they actually encouraged. So I always tell my students as well that you should definitely have people around that support you, not demotivate. There had been demotivating people as well. But then that came up as, I took it as a challenge, that okay, you're saying I can't do anything in life, let me show you. It should come over like that, and then you should have supportive people in life.
Right. So we can
That
say it's a yeah. Sorry to interrupt. You are saying something.
Yes. No, I was saying that transformation, we shouldn't be scared of. We should always accept that. You shouldn't be scared of leaving the house. You shouldn't be scared of choosing a profession that you never thought about, because that's something
Absolutely.
that's very scary. No.
Yeah. Always before doing anything, you feel like the pressure, but once you
Yes.
start, you see that you are confident and you are doing well, and you get more confident with time. So I can say that your journey was a transformation journey, because you mentioned that you were a shy kid, you were an introvert, and now what you are doing, that is exactly the opposite of
Opposite.
that.
Yes.
And I think that that upbringing that you talked about, that hostel uh, duration that you talked about, and the work culture you are in, that actually shaped you as a current designation, or Rashmi, current Rashmi, I can say, right?
So, absolutely. I mean, even today, I would say I am an introvert. The personality, the character would never change, right? Keep me into a social meeting, like take me to a party. I might not speak to a lot of people, I would still be closed. However, now professionally or wherever I should be speaking, I'm not shy, then I would speak up. So, introvert doesn't mean that I can't speak. Introvert doesn't mean that I lack confidence or I am arrogant. An introvert person is a characteristic. So I really want people to understand that change in thought process to come, that okay, introvert doesn't mean that they are arrogant or they lack confidence. It's just that we don't want to share a lot of thoughts that we have in our mind. We might
Yeah.
probably select them and then talk to them, to a selective few people. So that's being an introvert. It has nothing to do with our character, it has nothing to do with our mindset, it has nothing to do with what do I think about myself.
Right. So now I am to bring that aspect of book reading, and I believe that you yourself an avid reader. So while growing up, did you have any reference point, like somebody gave you some books, or you were inspired by somebody that okay, I want to read as well, and I want to develop my skills, my knowledge? That how this habit started of book reading?
So both my parents are an avid reader. They would read a lot. Uh, that's when, they handed over books, storybooks, small short storybooks to us. And the good part was, it was never like, I studied in a convent school, but it was not that you have to read only English or only Hindi. It was a mix up of both the languages. So thanks to that, I am affluent in both the languages right now. So both, any language, they would give us books, lots of books in the house. So when you're surrounded by that environment, no, you ultimately one day you would pick it up and, okay, let me check what's happening here, right?
What's going on? Yeah.
Then yes, what is it? Why is it so interesting that my house is full of books, right? Okay, so
Yeah.
small short stories, moral stories, fun stories, okay, comics. That used to be there. We would talk about it. My younger brother was into books too much, even more than me. So he would read like anything, and then we would discuss. So that kind of environment in the house supported the habit of reading. Further on, once the interest is developed, I think books take you to another world. So today also, whenever I feel like, okay, I need a break, I need a holiday, pick up a book, and you're on a holiday. I guess that's the cheapest holiday one can be. Because
Yeah.
you're at another zone, right?
Yeah, absolutely amazing. Like the books which you suggested to me, or maybe the books you have read before, that gave you a lot of self confidence, as well as the knowledge which you are sharing with other people as well. So I think book reading is very important, and it shapes you as a different human being altogether, because you have so many perspectives from around the world. And here I would like to ask you that, who is your favorite author? Do you have any favorite author, or any particular book which you want to mention?
Actually, I like I sail through many boats in terms of work. I also sail through many boats in terms of books. Not favorite one author, but I can name like a lot of them. Uh, but the first book that influenced me and that stays with me even now was the book by Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. That was the first book I read on self motivation and self
Okay.
confidence, and that actually was the starting of that transformational journey that telling about. That gave me the perspective that, okay, I'm not sure how to talk to people, but it gave me that direction, that see, it's so easy. And
Yeah.
the way he has described it with examples, and the way he has written it in terms of stories there, it's wonderful. It's a beautiful book that I suggest everyone should read. Another book that keeps me going, and that's again like in my book stand always, is a book called Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus. That helped me handling relationships a lot in like real life. We definitely live in a world wherein male, female, everybody is there, and we have to deal with them, right? We can't run away. But that book really helped me. It helped me to understand the perspective from both the sides, from both the point of views. And even today, it helps me out in understanding that, okay, why is somebody behaving like that based on gender? That there are differences, and that will be there. So even that's one book that I really suggest that everybody should be reading for sure. Then
Okay.
there have been a lot of books keeping and going, but yes, these two are there for sure ever.
Yeah, but can you tell for the viewers as well, because many of the students are also watching this podcast at this
Yes.
point of time. So, any other name of few books which people should read, if especially if they are in colleges, or maybe just started their career.
I also believe in you know in psychology. So I have read a lot of books on psychology, and there's a book called Thinking Fast and Slow from Daniel Kahneman. So that's a book that also gives us the perspective on how our brain works, even for the learning perspective, that how do I learn better. So they keep asking me that, how do I learn better? How do I learn English better? Or how do I learn this subject better? All right. But Thinking Fast and Slow it's a slow read. You have to actually read it with concentration, but then it gives us that perspective that, okay, how my brain works.
Right.
Also, it gives us the perspective that when I have like the power of subconscious mind, right? So there
Right,
is a
right.
book called Power of Subconscious Mind, and even
Dr.
this book
Murphy.
it tells us, yes, absolutely. Even this book, even Daniel Kahneman has talked about it, that how what we think will happen, because then we have uh, true trust on it, right? So that's a book that I suggest. There are a lot of books. I also suggest a book from Alan and Barbara Pease. That's a book on body language. So
Okay.
reading body language is something that one can do, because most of our communication happens through non-verbal medium, not
Yeah.
verbal medium. So reading that book from the perspective of knowing how to use my body language, but also more from the perspective of how do I read others' body language and understand what do they mean,
Right.
is a beautiful read, so that in future, going ahead, when you're meeting new people, you know who to deal with, who not to deal with, who to trust, who not to.
How to deal with.
Different people, and you'll be able to read them, you'll be able to read their thoughts more once you read their body language. These are a few. Then there's like, the list never ends. But then there are etiquette books, there are front office books. I read books from Disney Institute. So
Okay.
Disney has an institute, and the books that they publish are wonderful. If a person belongs to entertainment industry, front office, retail, hospitality. So when I started dealing with these industries, I actually read the books from Disney, and they are a great insight.
Okay. So my next question is a follow up question to this same topic, which is that how do you manage your time? You mentioned that you like to read many books, right? So at the same time, when you read books, maybe you are working at the same time you're giving some training or maybe you're developing some contents. So how do you prioritize the thing and how do you keep the balance that reading as well as all this work?
So number one is I have like a tight schedule, but then when I'm doing, I have one thing in mind for sure, that when I'm doing one thing, it's that thing. Usually, what happens is when you have five trainings in a day, or like you have trainings and then meetings and then you have to prepare also, you know the mind gets confused that okay, I have to do this also, this also, this also. No, just bifurcate the timing. That okay, morning I'm doing this training, this is what I'm thinking about. Afternoon,
Right.
these are two meetings, I'm thinking about them. Right, evening, I have to prepare this, that's what I'm thinking about. So that, like, time management is more about settling your mind into that time, into present, is more what
Right.
I do. uh, for time management, it's basically scheduling, that's very important for me. So I have like a chart and would schedule a lot and think of dates and everything and how much time, keep extra time in my hand, so that on the go I read a lot.
Okay.
I read a lot, like in the car, in the lift, waiting for a cab. So on the go, be it phone, be it books in my hand, I read a lot. If I have a training, I reach there 10 minutes early. I'll take that 10 minutes to read.
Okay.
So that's a lot of time when I read, and I would watch videos like more learning videos or something. All these things I do, all that on the go. The rest of the time is divided in terms of work. So I have morning hours, I have afternoon hours fixed for working. That's how
Right.
I would schedule. And yeah, but then I have seen that the major thing is keeping my mind alert, that okay, this is something that I have to do right now. Let's forget about everything else, because that becomes a problem then.
Right. Okay. So we will again go back to your initial stages of your career. Like you mentioned that you were pursuing your MBA, right? And after that, you were working in the bank, Royal Bank of Scotland, if I'm not wrong. And so I think it's 4 years you worked there.
No, so 2 years I was studying there, and then 2 years I was in corporate job. Then I
Okay.
started training in Indore, yeah.
Yeah. So
And
how's
it's
your experience working for them, and what did you learn? I mean, what knowledge or what kind of how did that change you as a person? That
okay.
experience.
So if we talk about corporate experience, how did
No,
it
I'm talking
change me?
about Royal Bank of Scotland.
Yeah.
That
So
experience.
absolutely, that was the corporate experience that I have. So Royal
Okay.
Bank of Scotland changed a lot of things in terms of my mindset, number one. So when you see that energy there, the the dynamics there, the way people are working, the kind of energy, the way even they walk, all right, that exposure to the corporate world was a huge change. So moving from student life to a place wherein everybody is very focused, goal
You are
oriented,
you are
lots
posted in
of
Delhi.
energy. I was in Gurgaon, yes, Gurgaon.
Gurgaon.
So Royal Bank of Scotland has a back-end office at Gurgaon, and I was placed there. That kind of energy and dynamism, it gives you direction as well. It also pushes you, motivates you, that okay, see, look at the people around you, how motivated they are, so go ahead, work, do your job, right?
Okay.
So that exposure in terms of more focus towards life, being more energetic, okay, so there were different kind of people, meeting those people. So the exposure that you get in terms of work, in terms of people, in terms of even connecting with offices around the world, right? So multinational offices, when you have those offices and you're connecting there, you understand their culture also. When you have
Right.
people coming down from other countries, you're going there, you understand their culture. So all that, at the initial stages of career, it changed a lot in terms of perspective that I found, in terms of open-mindedness that was there, right? Accepting everyone as they are. So all those things happened. So obviously there was work that I was doing, but then I think always the inclination was towards reading people and understanding more about them, and their behavior.
So so by then
That's
you
what
started
got me
reading
there.
psychological books.
I think that was there since, I guess, childhood, because even now if I connect the dots, right, I see that that interest has always been there. Even when I was quiet, so I say, right, that as a child I was quiet. I kept observing people. How is someone speaking? Okay, what was good about that? What was not good about? So that this should not be done. So it has always been there. Even
Going
the
back of
training
your head.
part. Yes. So as I said, connecting the dots, I see that that has been there always. It was just that I did not. I never recognized. I never realized that. Even when I was in Gurgaon, I started taking these training batches for younger kids
Okay.
on
So you
personality.
so for your viewers, if you just clarify that over there you were working as a trainer.
No, I was not working as a trainer. I would not say it was not like working for money or professionally. It was by hobby. It
No,
was by
for
hobby that I started
Royal
taking.
Bank of
No,
Scotland.
no, no. Royal Bank of Scotland was a different profile. It was a more technical profile. I was an analyst there.
Okay.
So it had nothing. So till then, the training career had not started. It had never come into my mind. I
Right.
was an analyst, and it was a technical field. It was altogether different.
Okay.
So it was very later on that I came to Indore, where I am right now, and I started training students, and that's when this career option started. So I would say this is a career not by choice. It was the only option, but then I think I am very happy right now. I'm glad that this happened to me.
So my next question is that how did you become a trainer, and uh, because you wanted to become a investment banker and you did
Yes,
MBA, and
yes.
then you were working for this bank, Royal Bank of Scotland. So how this thing came to your mind, and uh, is there any reference point, any source of inspiration, and what was the thought process of becoming a trainer, and
So,
how did it happen?
why did this happen? This happened because, like, I did MBA in finance. I wanted to be an investment banker since I was in eighth standard. So that goal was like very clear and focused on it and everything. Uh, Things turned out so that yeah, I got married, landed in Indore, and like 10 years back in Indore, there were not such no such companies wherein I could work uh, like the same in the same field as I was in Royal Bank of Scotland, right? So that was not an option. Plus, I married in a household which was more like a joint family, and
Okay.
an Indian family, like wherein joint family business household. No, so you understand
Okay.
that kind of
Yeah.
household was there. So working in terms of full time, okay, there was no pressure of not doing anything or doing anything. But then obviously it was a complete cultural shift for me, right?
Right. Right.
Training came as an option because that was the only, as I said, it was not by choice, but that was the only option because that was more feasible in terms of my lifestyle that I had to choose on after being married. uh,
Right.
Again, a transitional period for me. So one transition was from Bhopal to Gurgaon, and then another transition was from Gurgaon to Indore. Uh, Settled into a joint family uh, life, and then I chose up. See, it's always like, okay, I can fight, I can rebel for what I have always thought of, or accept the conditions and probably get molded into it. So I chose being molded. So I got molded into whatever option came in front, chose that, but then moved forward. So rather than losing my heart, and that has been there, that has been a trend in life, that people ask me, Rashmi, it's been a smooth life. I say yes, because of the choices that I made. The choices were that, okay, if I can fight for it, fine. But if family comes first for me, if there is an option that's been given to me, I'm fine with that. I'll get molded there. So I got molded. I chose that. But then it didn't lose heart. I was not sad about it. I was not demotivated by it, that, okay, where was I and where have I landed? Kept going on, and then I think I'm a better place. I'm at a much better place, I would say, right now. So another lesson that I actually share with my trainees is that if there is no option, don't lose your heart. Go ahead. Probably life is taking you somewhere else, and that can be for better. So
Okay.
that's how training happened. Image happened because while I was training these students, I realized that there was a lot of things missing. So personality development or soft skills was just like one part, and I had seen students there in Delhi, NCR, and I could compare and I could see that there's a lot of things missing. How
Right.
do I match them up? That's when I got to know about image management and went through it. And yes, that has made a lot of difference in terms of my deliverables and in terms of the result that the trainees get or the clients get out of it.
Right. Right. So, so you are a wife as well, and so I believe that you have to manage your household stuff at the same
Absolutely.
time while managing the professional stuff. And do you have any kids?
Yes, I have two. I have two kids,
And how old are they now?
3 and 8. So it's a complete, like, full life. Full. I have parents, I have like, I have brothers, I have sister-in-law, I have nephews, I have husband, kids. So it's a complete, like, 10 people joint family that I have. But then it's fun to be there because they're very supportive,
Yeah.
all of them, in what I'm doing. And it's how you manage and it's how you communicate. Then ultimately, at the end of the day, you have to be very free. You have to communicate well with them, so that that management, and there should not be no tiff in terms of, okay, this is what I want to do, whatever you think. That should not happen. You should not rebel. Why rebel when things can be solved over a cup of coffee, right? So yes, I manage between family and work also, and I think pretty well because of the clear communication that's there with everyone.
Right.
So even the
So, so
3-year-old knows that, okay, she has to work right now, so I can't disturb. So that communication, you should not never lie that, or just disappear from the house. It should be clear that, okay, see, this is my work, I have to do it, so you can't disturb. That communication has to be there, very clear cut.
right. So we are almost on the end of the podcast, but there are few questions which I'd like to ask you because you have such a variety of experience over the years. So you mentioned that you have small kids, right? So
Yeah.
again, managing kids, managing a household at the same time, you are into multiple roles, right? So what happens in a normal family? And normal, why I'm saying normal, because most of the families they are having this kind of situation where
Yes.
there is a woman who is a housewife and maybe taking care of the house and raising child, and the
Yeah.
husband is working in the office, right? So it's not easy, right? Being a
Hmm.
mother and then managing and then you are working. So your thought process is going. You have a different thought process, and your mind is getting distracted because of the many reasons. How do you deal with this situation? How do you deal with this problem? And how do you keep yourself, fit at the same time, mentally and physically?
So there are a lot of things in this. Number one is that as I said, clear communication, very clear that whenever I'm scheduled to go somewhere, whenever I'm scheduled to work, that schedule is always shared with the family. That every morning I would get up and tell them that today, from 8 o'clock to 11 o'clock, I am not in the house.
Okay.
So when you say that, no, the others around, if they're supportive. So as I said, first thing, thankfully, my family is very supportive. Each one of them. Okay. So as soon as that communication is there, they know that, okay, this is the timeline wherein we have to manage these things, right? Take my place, right?
Yeah.
So that clear communication has to be there for sure with everyone. Second thing is when you say that, disruption of mind, wherein there are kids playing in the house and you have to work also, and then there is family also, and they have expectations. So all that is there again. It's the power of your mind, it's the willpower that makes you focus on one thing. So you really have to decide that, okay, this 1 hour I'm giving myself, this 1 hour I'll just work and focus. Before, half an hour before that, I'll play with the kids. So I've given them time. After this, I'll spend time with the family. I'll talk to them whatever they want. If I know that, okay, my evenings are going to be busy, I spend time with them in the morning. If I have mornings as busy, I keep my evenings free. So that's the scheduling that I was talking about. That
Right.
that scheduling actually makes it very feasible and very viable to work without any conflicts, without any dispute. That's how I keep it going.
Right.
uh, Keeping fit in terms of physical and mental health. Physical health, yes, there was a time in between when this got disrupted, but then
Okay.
again, I think physical health is fine and we have to take time out of it. However, as far as mental health is concerned, a lot of reading, uh, listening to music.
Yeah, yeah. I can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, wonderful. So, reading, listening to music. So, music is something that keeps me going. So, for mental health, I think we can choose that what like gaming can help you out, music helps you out, dance. It could be different things. Could be gardening, could be painting. So, I do gardening, I do painting, I do listen to music. That's something that keeps me mentally fit. That gives me that break and that booster to again start off
Do
a day.
more. Yeah.
Right, do more, right? Or take a break from the hustle bustle and all these haywire thoughts. Take a break for 10 minutes. Okay, listen to one song and get back. That's more like a stress buster. So these are small things that I think people can do, and things and it can be solved. It can work wonderfully. Just go have a coffee, come back. Okay, take that 10-minute break, but that is necessary. That 10-minute break is definitely necessary. You can't keep working throughout the day.
Right. So you are also at the same time you are developing contents, and since you mentioned that you are into book reading, so I believe this content creation has a lot to do with your reading and researching and understanding the
Absolutely.
other person, context, situation. So how,
Yes, yes.
like what kind of challenges do you face now when you create a content, and what are the things, specific things, which you are particular about while creating the content, and what message you want to share through that content which you're creating? What is this thought process and creativity like?
So, as far as content development, or it's not only content development. What we call in our terminology is that we design the learning experience
Right.
for the attendees. So,
Right.
designing the learning experience, there are a lot of things. So, what helped me out? Yes, reading, definitely, because reading opens up the avenues that you can actually explore. So
Yeah.
reading articles, reading books, listening to speeches, experiences. So I read biographies, I read autobiographies, I would listen to speeches from different
People.
celebrities or different people who have done something or nothing, anything. But then if somebody's talking about their life, I would love to hear about them, because that is something that makes me learn new things about them and about life as well, right? So all that gave me one content in one form. Second was when I observed people, when I did trainings with people, I could see that okay, something, there are certain things that go really well, there are certain things that don't. What is the attention span? Okay, how can you engage people more? So all these experiences that I had throughout the journey of 10 years of training and reading so much, traveling, meeting so many people, gave me the confidence to build up that learning experience such that people are actually interested in what is being delivered, be it any. So right now I'm dealing with audience ranging from 7 years to audience who is 50 years. Okay, that's the kind of vast exposure that I have in terms of audience. There are young adults, so I also train people who are doing masters. I talk to people who are into startups. They're into their 30s, 35. All right, and then there are corporate managers, people sitting at higher level designations who are in their 50s. Okay, that's the kind of audience that I have. However, all these experiences, all these reading made me more confident in terms of how can they be engaged in a better manner, because all of them have different mindset, all of them has different lifestyle, okay, and different generations, right? So when we develop content, when we develop that methodology to deliver that content, okay, one thing is that okay, what is the audience? Do I understand the audience? What do they expect, right? And second thing that I feel is that lectures can be given easily. However, how much are they interested into these lectures? This can be, they can view this over there. I mean, now with so many channels being there, they can view any video, any lecture anytime they want. Then why lecture them real time? Okay, so I believe it should be more engaging in terms of them doing something. So even taking a session for management students, my focus is not me telling them, that okay, this means this, this means this. That is something that they can go back and read. I want them to practice it in the class. So it is more practice based, it is more game based that we want.
Practical,
So when I say
activity based.
even game, yes, more activity in terms of real time based, real activity, not something hypothetical. Like giving them a situation which would happen in real, that okay, how will you, so giving them a stress based situation, not in terms of story, but actually making them take that stress and then ask them that okay, what are you going to do now? Okay, that's when that clicks. Because how do we learn better? We learn better when we experience things better, right? Our experiences are what we remember. Yes,
Yes.
so why not make them experiences then and there, so that they can know that okay, now this is something that I need to do. That is what I think is something that has to be kept in mind when you design a learning experience.
You are also a curriculum designer, so is it difficult for you to create content which are exciting, because learners they want to have a content, they like to read a content, or they want to do activities which are exciting, and definitely a learning outcome should be there. So is it a challenging situation for you that to have
It's
a learning
very
outcome at
challenging.
the same time we need to make it as
Yes,
exciting as possible?
it's very challenging, and you know what? Every time
Yeah.
it cannot be a standard lesson plan that can be delivered. Every time it has to be changed. Why? Because the audience changes, the circumstances changes, the kind of people changes, their background changes. So when people approach me and ask that okay, Rashmi, do you have like a lesson plan for this? I say no, you tell me, and then it will be developed based on what kind of audience you are. Because It can't be the same for everyone. Can't be, never. I have tried making templates, fixed templates, but that doesn't work because every time the situation changes, the
Right.
industry changes, the company changes, the people change. So it's really challenging. It's very challenging. It takes a lot of time, but then when it gets delivered and the results are seen, it's a wonderful experience.
Fulfilling experience. Yeah.
Yes.
So we are going to end this podcast, but it was really exciting and glad. I'm really glad that you're sharing so many insights.
Same
So
here.
yeah, thanks so much. And so, any message you would like to give to the teenagers? Because uh, I think all of them will watch, but most of the people who are will be watching this or watching this right now, they are teenagers. So, any message you want to give to them who have dreams, who wants to
Yeah.
do something, achieve something in life, especially women's, because you are a woman yourself, so you have achieved something in your life. Now you're going to inspire many other women from small cities or maybe rural areas. Okay,
Yeah.
so this podcast will go to different areas of the country. So,
Yes. Mhm.
what message you want to tell to all the budding teenagers, young aspirants who are watching this?
So it was my school motto, and I really believe in it. It says, "Let your light shine." And that is something that I always tell the younger kids, that, let your light shine. Just go ahead, do what you believe in, choose a passion. There should be some passion that you have, right? Choose that passion and move forward, because that is what will keep you going. If you do something just because it has to be done, fine, you have to do certain things like that, but then there should be something that you're passionate about, that you can't sleep, thinking about it. So choose that, go ahead and let your light shine. Don't let it die. Do not. Go ahead, just do what you want to. Live your life to the fullest.
Amazing. You actually have summed up the whole podcast because the podcast is passion podcast, and you talked about passion,
Yes.
and
Yes.
I can see the passion in yourself about what you're doing right now, and this
Yes.
is what I am doing. You can say that it is my passion to connect with people, to
Yes.
bring them in a platform,
Hmm.
share their knowledge, and so yeah, it's very important to pursue your passion and to stick to it, isn't it?
Wonderful.
So, on that note, Rashmi, I would like to thank you once again for joining today and taking a time out from your hectic and busy schedule and enriching the podcast to another level. Okay,
Thank
so
you so much, Sandeep. It was wonderful. It was a wonderful, amazing experience. And I really wanted to do this because I want this message to spread out, that the younger ones, please go ahead. Do what you want to do.
great. So, with this note, I wish you all the best, Rashmi, with whatever endeavor you are taking and your future goals. And take care. God bless you.
Thank you, Sandeep.
We'll see you
Thank you.
soon,
Bye.
maybe in some
Yes,
other way or in some other
absolutely.
platforms. Okay, because I have some plans to have a panel discussion maybe in future.
Ah,
So
wonderful.
I believe if you join there as well, it will be a
Oh,
wonderful
I would
experience for all
love
of
to
us.
be a part of it. I would love to be a part of it for sure. Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much
much.
for inviting.
Take care. Bye bye. See
Okay,
you.
bye. Bye. See you.
Bye bye.